So, ladies and gentlemen, today I have the great honor of inviting a very, very important, powerful, solid. He's none other than Mr. Arthur Lang.
Thank you.
And
Hello.
he's the Group CFO of Singtel. Okay.
Yes.
And he's a person I really admire a lot, but more importantly, I'm very angry with him.
Why?
Yeah. Singtel share price like that. Okay, never give me one hint. Yeah.
Hello, I also don't know.
You don't need to say you will go to 490.
Cannot. Yes.
You can at least say I lai liao. Then I like that, right? Never bo kao ping you, right? But I am very, very impressed with Singtel's performance in the stock market, and it's an incredible, right?
Thank you very much. I mean it's really all round effort by the whole group. Right, as we said, we need the operations to fire up. We need the business to fire up. We need the capital management, active capital management to unlock value. So all the engines need to fire up to really, do something good for the shareholders and our stock price. Yeah. So we are very happy, very encouraged.
Well, the frank truth is that for me, there were two big regrets. One was OCBC. That's a smaller regret. But the bigger regret was Singtel. And I got so much shares. All the years of our shares that were paid their salary, never sell. And I go and buy some more.
Oh, good.
And I waited for decades, man. And then I 等到花儿也谢了啊. Then I sell them all. Walao, this year, a few months. Right?
A few months. 1 year. 1 year.
Boom,
Yeah, 1 year.
That day was hit 490, right?
It somewhere there.
490,
Yes,
what I sell 350 on average, something like that. Oh, I never tell helping you. This are not good.
Sorry.
Not good
Okay.
friend, Right.
Okay.
So as a disclaimer, this interview, I never collect anything from that. They never pay me.
Yes,
anything,
nothing.
no freebie. One kopi also don't have.
Oh, they got water.
They
Water.
treat me pure water. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. Sibing yao listening down.
But we want to reduce costs so we can pay out more dividends to the shareholders, those who actually hold on to our shares, correct?
See, very nice, right? Yeah, give shareholder, never give me. Never mind. Bo kao ping you. Never mind, I'll deal with you separately. But okay, so maybe at this juncture, you have just announced your insanely good results. And maybe you want to walk through your results with us for our fans to understand. More importantly, in a way that men in the streets, in a coffee shop and hawker center can understand, because most of these financial results very cheap, can understand.
Very cheap. Okay. Make it simple.
Yeah. So Arthur, a lot of people hold Singtel for its dividends. If I also tell people, if you really want dividends, buy Singtel, buy DBS, buy OCBC, you'll be so nowadays. Okay, but
you say what
something like that. I can say what I want. But I want to know, Singtel, your dividends, is very good this year. Your special dividend, you just talked about it. Looking forward looking. So I'm now 53. So by the time I retire, will your dividend will still continue to be good, not?
Okay, this kind of thing, very hard to say, cannot predict the future. But we have committed, right, to grow dividends on a sustainable basis. So, just now you talked about special dividend. Actually, we didn't pay a special dividend. What we do is we want to keep growing. Our dividend actually has two parts, right? One is what we call the core dividend, and the other one is the VRD. It's a very cheap word, cheap way to just simply say it's a value realization dividend, which is, think of it as a extra dividend that we give, but it's not just one time, right? But we want to do it every year. And we have guided to the market that we will do it up to 2030 at least. Now, after 2030, I don't know whether I still be CFO.
I haven't retired yet.
Haven't retired, but
70.
every year we will update what happens, and you'll see the progression of our dividend. But fundamentally, we want to grow dividends on a sustainable basis. Wow. Sustainable is very important. Grow and sustainable. These two words are very important. Okay. So to everyone here, just remember, we want to grow, but we want to be sustainable as well. Sustainable meaning we want to make sure that we don't borrow to fund a dividend, because the Along one day will come after us. It's like, hey, when do you pay up? Correct. So that one is definitely not sustainable.
Sure.
The dividends need to grow from fundamentally our core dividend, which is the operating business. That's why underlying profits is very important.
Sure.
Our payout ratio, we said we want to pay between 70 and 90% of our underlying profit. So past few years, we paid like 80, 82%. So we still got more headroom. But we want to slowly grow that dividend. If your underlying profit grow, if the payout is fixed at 80, then naturally your core dividend will grow. The other aspect of the dividend is called the value realization dividend, which is really from all our capital recycling. All right, and we can talk later about how much capital we are recycling. We have given a target. That means by 2030, right, we want to raise about $9 billion to set aside for potential capital, return on capital. And
9 billion.
9 billion.
9 billion.
Yeah, but guess what? As of today, we already have 5.6 billion out of the 9 billion.
In the pocket.
In the pocket. Or in the bank.
Oh.
So it is, and that amount, okay, is set aside for number one, growth opportunity, because we need to keep growing, right? Into new businesses, we need to invest in our current business. So that one we set aside 2 billion. The other 2 billion is we'll buy back. We've set aside to buy back our shares. Now, what's important is we are buying back these shares when we're canceling the shares, which means that in the future, if your number of shares drop, right, means that next time your dividend per share should go up, right? Because if let's say your numerator remains fixed, your denominator comes down, means every shareholder who holds the share, the DPS or dividend per share will go up. So that helps to keep growing your dividend. And then the last part, so 9 billion minus 2 billion minus 2 billion, 5 billion. 5 billion is to fund this VRD, the value realization dividend, right? And this 5 billion is, we say every year we pay 3 to 6 cents of value realization dividend. 3 to 6, that's about $500 to $1 billion a year in VRD. So 5 billion, if it's 500 to a billion a year, means we got easily ability to pay for 5 to 10 years from this VRD 5 billion pot that we have. So I think of it as a Milo tin, right? I got one Milo tin for operations. I got this other Milo tin for VRD. So 5 billion can last us for 5 to 10 years, depending how much we pay a year, right? So even if let's say we pay 6 cents a year, with $1 billion a year of VRD, means we got 5 years to do it. So today we are fiscal year 26, then we go to fiscal year 30. So it should be okay. That's how we want to give confidence to the market that we are able to sustain this steadily growing dividend. We don't want like that, but we want like that slowly go up.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's very nice that you described the path of the dividends plan.
Yes.
And it's very nice to hear that this is going to be done in a very sustainable way.
Yes.
Maybe let's now dovetail into some of the exciting, maybe two exciting things that are happening in Singtel.
Okay.
Of course, one of them is Optus outage. Yeah.
Yes.
So regarding Optus,
Yeah.
maybe on a high level, what do you have to say as a comment?
That was really an unfortunate event, right? I think despite the fact that we have been progressing well and we want to continue to make Optus execute better, operate better, we brought in a CEO about 1 year ago already, and he was very focused on turning the business around and really kind of really leverage and execute well, right? And leverage on basically all the operating capabilities that we have. It is extremely unfortunate that the incident happened, and all the more so there were some incidents and accidents that were related to it. And I think we cannot say sorry enough, right? I think we really regretted that incident. But what we can do if we look forward is that, first of all, I think Optus, the management, the board has really committed to really look into the operations, invest in the operations where necessary, if there are gaps, and really strengthen the resilience of the network, strengthen the resilience of the operations, our risk management systems. All that is being looked at. We also have an independent inquiry, an independent review by an independent person, Dr. Kelly Scott, very well regarded in Australia, to really take a very hard look at our business, right? And I think the findings, hopefully by end of this year, we would disclose that. And so we brought in A.T. Carney to also help us to really look at this process, right? At Singtel, we continue to support the Optus board and management on this. This is absolute top priority.
Very good.
So while the business and all that is doing well, we definitely need to also, as I mentioned earlier, there's still things that we have to do. It's not everything is perfect, everything is hunky-dory, but this is an area we need to put a lot more focus on, and we continue to support the Optus board and management.
Okay, so all said and done, most important question to all my followers is, so dividend and business will be impacted, not?
Okay. We will be putting some additional investments into as I mentioned, to really improving their processes at Optus. But I think if the overall business continues to do well, I think, as we said, we are still committed to our ST28 dividends, and that we will want to grow dividends sustainably. Also, to give you a sense, Singtel we always say it's not just one company or one business. We are actually very diversified. Even Singapore is only about 20% of our business. Our Optus business, if you look, in terms of EBIT and profit contribution, is less than 10%. So it's a relatively diversified portfolio of businesses that, of course, every single piece is very important, but I would say we're quite resilient from that perspective.
Very good. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the only thing I think
Yeah.
from Singapore, at least from my followers' perspective, that they want to know.
Yes.
And Choi,
Choi.
Choi, this thing from
Must use
you
more.
got to go and bathe in rose petal.
I know.
Very good to
Yes.
hear that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to go into something quite interesting on asset sale. Okay. You've been monetizing a lot of hidden value that a lot of people never see.
Yes.
Okay. And that's why this year got $2 billion extra. I saw in the books. Yeah. So
Yes.
So that's quite okay. Let me quickly talk about this. Okay.
Okay.
You have made some significant gains from this hidden asset.
Yes.
And clearly you are benefiting a lot of our shareholders. But I want to work out mathematics. I just figured this out yesterday night. You sold your Airtel shares only less than 1%, right? Less than 0.8%.
We sold the last 2 weeks ago. Yes,
Yeah.
we sold 0.8%. We raised $1.5 billion.
Wait, the mathematics is this.
Okay.
You sold 0.8, it gives you $1 billion.
Correct.
But look, Chituatu share.
Chituatu shares,
you're
yes.
20%,
Correct.
I was calculating.
Yes.
Airtel, of course, India very big.
Very
Singapore,
big country.
Tiny, right?
Yes.
Your whole stake there is worth $50 billion.
Yeah, that
based
sounds.
on that.
Yeah, correct.
50,
correct,
My math correct.
Correct,
right?
correct.
Not bad.
Yes,
My math correct.
yes.
Not as good as him, but my math not bad.
Correct.
$50 billion.
Yes.
Just the Airtel share.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
But your whole business, Chituatu, sorry.
Chituatu, yeah.
Your whole business, Chituatu, you got Singtel Singapore, you got Optus, you got NCS, you got
Correct.
You got Thailand, you got Thailand is called
AIS.
AIS,
Yeah.
and then you got Globe in Philippines, and then Telkomsel.
Yes.
Was Chituatu business.
Chituatu, yes.
I saw the market cap of Singtel is only
Correct.
$80 billion,
Only, yes. 80
of
billion.
which $50 billion is, if a
Airtel,
mathematics correct,
yeah,
is
okay.
Airtel.
Yes.
The rest of business cannot be 30 billion. Cannot be 30 billion.
You are very perceptive. 难怪是 big time guru here, investment guru. You're right. That's exactly what we want to continue to work. That's why just now I said, while our stock price has moved up, there's still a lot to do. Because we're really sitting on a bitang, really bitang, right? And, for people who don't know, we're sitting on a very big rice spot, all right? So we have a lot of potential, right? And what we always call it, this is the sum of the parts discount. So to give you a sense, you're absolutely right. Airtel is worth about 50 billion. Of course, it moves up and down. But AIS, Globe, they are also listed companies.
So you can calculate, right?
So you calculate, you plug it. So they are every day you can calculate. The price change, the market value change. Just these companies alone. And then Telkomsel, we just use a proxy because they are our partner who owns Telkomsel Telkom is a listed company. So we just use all this. From a Sing dollar perspective, our regional associates, it's about $75 billion. 75 billion, our market cap is 8 billion, which means, $80 billion.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
80 billion, which means that Singapore, our Singtel Singapore,
Australia,
Optus, our Nexera, our data center business, our Sunwing
and
Cables,
NCS.
and NCS, all only 5 billion.
Cannot be
It
lah.
cannot be, right?
Yeah.
So we really feel that it cannot be, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we do think we actually, every month we calculate what we call a sum of the parts analysis.
And how much is that?
If you just take all the businesses and add it up, right? And then forget the Singtel market cap, just add up everything. Where is the, okay, that one I cannot say lah, but I would say it's more than $100 billion.
150?
Okay lah, the one you say one, I didn't say it right. But it's worth a lot. It's worth a lot.
Singtel Singapore so much, you can calculate Optus so big,
right, yes.
and then NCS so big, and then we have got what's the last one?
Nexera,
the
digital
data
infra
center
co.
business.
Yes.
This cannot be worth $5 billion. If it's $100 billion, let's say, I say, not you say,
Okay.
let's say $120 billion. Wow, your share price should be at least $7. Yeah, I say.
Okay,
I
you say what?
I say
Not me,
at least $7.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Now, but that's mathematics. That's mathematics. Now I didn't. Again, you never tell me.
Okay,
Never tell me.
Look, this kind of thing is of course, market conditions, uncertain and everything, you can never tell. But companies cannot always say, oh, we can never tell. We need to have an aim, right? And I won't predict the stock price lah, because anything may happen. But about 2.5, 3 years ago, there was an internal project that we did, right? It was called Project Empat. Empat. So for people who don't Malay, 2, 3, 4. C-call, $4, right? And at that time, our stock was about 250, 240. So we started a project.
That's why I sell. I was so smart. I sell at 350.
350. So we were putting together a strategy. How do we take our stock price up to $4 and stay at $4, right? So we got down to it, right? And the day it went up to $4 and slightly past $4, we had a party here just to celebrate internally, right? And it's more, the party is to show appreciation for everybody's hard work, because not easy, to bring the stock price up, and it's a whole team effort, right? It's just focusing on the business, really making sure the operations do well, right, across the board, making sure we actively manage our capital and then return it to the shareholders on a sustainable basis. Yes. And after that, let the shareholders decide lah, and that will be reflected in the stock price.
I'm damn impressed. And see,
Yeah.
I cannot take this interview anymore.
No lah, paiseh. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe we dovetail now to some of the growth engines that you have.
Yes.
And maybe you can describe some of the growth engines that you are firing up right now. Your data center business,
Yes,
and IT business. Whatever.
yes,
Right? Yeah.
Yes. Simple question: how often you use social media?
Every day.
Or was it every day? How
Every
many
day.
times a day?
I don't know. 50 times.
50 times a day. Do you use ChatGPT?
Yes.
So all this will lead to a growth in the data center business, because to do all this, these apps, whether it's Facebook, Meta, Amazon, Google, YouTube, they will all need what we call data centers to process the data, whether it's through cloud or through AI. But this business, we strongly believe in the fundamentals of it, and we want to grow, right? So data center, or what we call digital infrastructure, is something that we want to invest more of. It's not new to us. We already had data centers in the past. I think when you were Singtel, you also know. But we want to grow more. So what we did was we separated out those businesses out of the telco business and made it as a standalone business. So the data center business is called Nexera. And then we brought KKR in as a capital partner to continue to grow, because data center costs a lot of money. So we need someone with deep pockets also, right? And Akong to work with us.
But if KKR put in money, we also can have some faith, because
yes.
KKR very powerful.
Okay, not bad. They're
firm,
quite
right?
good. Correct. They're a good partner. Then the other business is IT services, NCS, right? These are the digital services. You see, as many governments around the region, including Singapore, start to digitalize all their services, whether it's SingPass lah, you go through airport, facial recognition lah, you walk around, you see all the cameras, right? Or security reasons. So everything needs digital services, and not just governments, but companies are also doing that. So that's where IT services come in at NCS. And again, we've held NCS for more than 20 years. So it is a business we are familiar with. So we want to expand that. Not only in Singapore, where we go deeper and expand our customer base, but also go beyond Singapore. So these are the two main businesses outside the connectivity business. But don't forget, I'm not saying telco business no growth anymore. No. Mobile may be quite mature already, especially in Singapore. But our fixed broadband business, our connectivity business in that space, enterprise, is another big growth we see. Singapore, strong business, but Indonesia, Thailand, India, Philippines, a lot of growth that we expect.
Oh, you are also in the fixed line business in these countries?
Yes, through our associates.
Okay.
So, for example, AIS today, our Thailand business, made an acquisition of a fixed broadband company last year. So today is the number one fixed broadband business, in addition to being a number one mobile company. Same thing in Telkomsel. They also bought Indie Homes, right, from Telkom. So today is a number one mobile and fixed broadband.
Wow.
Yes.
The growth is phenomenal, man.
Yeah, I think we're quite excited about that. I think there's a lot of opportunity that we can expect. Yes. AI.
Never talk about AI. Everybody talk about AI right now.
Okay,
what are you going to do about AI?
Okay, AI, we are looking at it and definitely will be, getting involved. I would caveat, everyone talk, oh, is AI a bubble? And, you see OpenAI, don't know, invest into this company, invest here, invest there. And each time they invest, it's like a few $1 billion, right? We're not in that space of AI. This is like putting AI to investing in chips and investing to do your LLM models and coming up with new models or deeper models or more intelligent models. For us, we are leveraging on how we can use that work that's being done in AI into our business. So how we are looking at is basically the ability for us to play AI in 3 ways, right, broadly. One, our telco businesses, right? We are an adopter of AI. We need to use AI to really embed it into our business to drive customer understanding, deeper customer understanding, where we really understand and meet the needs of customers through AI. We can hopefully then generate more revenues through that, and then also reduce our costs, right, through AI. So this is not just, all the customers, telco, what we call adopter of AI. Then you got the data center business. But it's not only data center, no. We got data center, we got terrestrial fiber that links the data center, right? And then we even have submarine cables that Singtel owns, right? We actually lay and we own the submarine cables from not only Singapore, but to the region and even to internationally, right? And all this is help to drive the data growth, to drive AI growth, right? So this is what we call the enabler of AI, right? So this is really embedded in our data center business and our submarine cable and our digital infrastructure business. Now, the third element is where NCS comes in. Very important role, okay? You got adopter of AI, you got enabler of AI, and then you got the user of AI. And what they do, NCS, is really working out ways, because a lot of their customers are enterprise customers. A lot of enterprises are saying, hey, how to use AI, right? And it's not just ChatGPT, right? You have to look at whether your data platforms, whether your ability for AI to process your data is all possible. So you need to organize your data in a certain way. You need to structure it. You need to make sure it's clean, right? So all that is how NCS can help the companies, to really use AI, right? So that's a user of AI. And, in many ways to see how AI can be used to disrupt many of our customers' business. So we have this 3 concentric circle, right? Adopter of AI, enabler of AI, and user of AI. I can tell you, Singtel is very unique. I don't see any company that can say we have all 3, right? I think across these 3, it's very powerful if we can get all these 3 engines firing up and working with one another. Then I can tell you, the 150 billion market cap, I think is
200.
That's going to be the next big lift, because if we can execute on AI, I'm charting our strategy for the future. If we can utilize AI, that's the next big jump.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So exciting, very exciting.
Well, thank you for giving us all these powerful and very insightful insights that you have been sharing. And I think there are a lot more, but we'll come to the end of the first video. So what we'll do is that in the next video, we'll talk a lot about the things that are happening in Singapore competition, and for investors, what we will be expecting from Singtel. Okay, so thank you, Arthur, for sharing all this with us, and look forward to the next video that will come tomorrow.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it. Thank you.